Now, for our next problem, we're referring to the table completed in the warm-up, which shows our class's guesses and the absolute guessing error. So we're going to plot at least 12 pairs on our table and write down 1 to 2 observations about our scatter plot and see is absolute guessing error a function of the guess. So on here, we had some values that we filled in. If the guess was 30, our absolute guessing error was 70. And if our guess was 45, our absolute error was 55. And if our guess was 50, our absolute guessing error was 50. If it was 52, our absolute guessing error was 48. And then if our guess was 80, our absolute guessing error was 20. If it was 100, our absolute guessing error was 0. If our guess was 125, our absolute guessing error was 25. If our guess was 110, our error was 10. If our guess was 125, our error was 25. Let's say our guess was 150, our error would be 50. 175 minus 100 gives us 75. And we have 3, 6, 9, and we need 12. So let's say 180, and it would be 80. Now, what I'm going to do for our guess is count by 10. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and I'm going to write this number as 50. So we don't have to write every 10. You can just count every 5. So this would be 60, 70, 80, 90. This number here is 100. So remember, this is kind of like the center. So 110, 20, 30, 40, 150, 160, 70, 80, 190. Here's 200. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the error. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40. Here is 50. 60, 70, 80, 90. Here's 100. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Now, if our guess was 30, so I go over to 10, 20, 30, our error was 70. So there's 50, 60, 70. So there is my plot. I'm going to put it in nice and dark. If our error was 45, remember here's 40. 45 would be in the middle. Our error there was 55, so that would kind of be in the middle of this one. If we're at 50, we're at 50, so I put a dot. 52, which is going to be about right here, a little bit below, we're at 48. If we're at 80, so 50, 60, 70, here's 80, we're at 20. 100, you're at 0. 125, so 110, 120. That would be 125. Go up to 25. 110, so you're at 10. 125, so 110, 120, here's 125. You're at 25, so it's the same. 150, you're up at 50. 175, so 160, 170, here's 175. You're up at, here's 60. 70, there's 175. And then 180, you're up at 80. Now, if we were to fill this in, the graph kind of looks like this. This is an interesting function. So this is called the absolute value function. And if you notice, the graph has a V shape. And if we were to write this in function form, it would be f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. Now, in this case, it's a little bit different because r's moved a little bit. So our function, so this is the absolute value function in general, but our function was f of x equals the absolute value of x minus 100. So that's this function here. And we're going to talk more about this absolute value function.